Could you please introduce yourself, ma'am?
My name is Seema Rasheed. I am the senior school headmistress at Garden Town campus, Beaconhouse School System, and I've been associated with the system for around 25 years now, and as that is the time that I've been associated with education as well.
Secondly, ma'am, we'd like to ask if we have the permission to record these and if we can...
Definitely, no issues.
That's great. As you already know, ma'am, that our topic, the issue at hand, is the fraudulent production of Covid19 Vaccine Certificates. So we wanted to ask that what measures were you taking to prevent the submission of such certificates?
The issuance is beyond our control. However, we are definitely on the lookout for any such case that may have been reported or that may be brought to our notice. But I believe that this is, this is not a very easy process, because all the things, the process starting from registration for the vaccination to going to a vaccination center approved by the government for vaccination to issuance of the certificate by the government of Pakistan is all interlinked. So when you register for the vaccination, they give you a password, a code, and that has to be produced at the time of vaccination. In order for the issuance of certificate, all these records must be in process in order for you to get the certificate. So I think that the fake certificate, the issuance of fake certificates, perhaps is present, but it is at a very minimal level. But in case we get to know about it, the only measures that we can take is to ascertain that the child or the student gets vaccinated as early as possible.
So, ma'am, we'd like to ask if there's any way in which you can track, fake certificates.
Tracking is, I don't think that within our control. However, as I mentioned earlier, that we believe that this is not a very easy process, and if somebody has been able to get hold of such a certificate, that may be minus, that may be just 0.0001%. So, in case it is brought to our notice, then only we can take certain measures.
And you mentioned that you will take certain measures. So, we'd like to ask that in case fraudulent certificates are submitted, then what measures will you take?
As I mentioned earlier, that in that case we can definitely prohibit the student from coming to school till the time that he gets a proper vaccination done. And also, I believe that the government has also started, it has launched an app which is going to track the certificates which may be fake. So we can take help from that, from the government of course. And since we can only restrict the entry of people who are not vaccinated, that is the measure that we will be taking.
Okay, and in conclusion, ma'am, basically the issue at hand is out of your control. You can't really do anything to stop it, is what I'm getting.
That is a slightly, I would say, overreaction to certain news or the certain import of news regarding the issuance. We can call it out of control when it is happening at a very large scale. But since I mentioned, just like I mentioned earlier, that it may be, I'm not even sure, it may be happening, I've heard that it is possible, but it is happening at a very, very small scale, very, very minor scale. So it is not out of control in that scenario. It is only that as soon as or if we are able to detect such a case, we can immediately restrict the student or the personnel involved to get into a certain premises.
So ma'am, could you kindly direct us towards an organization that might be more centered towards handling the issue at hand?
NADRA, I think, would be the best institute which you can refer to, because all the process is being handled through NADRA. The certificates are also being issued through NADRA. So NADRA people would be the best people to give you information about what is happening, and if there is any significant alarming situation which at a hand which they are trying to control, which I am not particularly, I don't think that that is the case.
So ma'am, we've established the link and now we know which organization to consult. So I believe that that's all thanks to you and the questions that we asked you today. So
You're most
really,
welcome.
so we really appreciate that you had taken out the time for us to interview and answer our questions.
You're most welcome, and we wish that we will follow what the law dictates, and we can behave in a responsible way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.